Put on your red shoes and dance the blues. Hi, this is Adrian from simplybetterenglish.com, and in this video we're going to look about what it means when someone asks you the simple question, what's your name? So, I've already said, my name is Adrian. I should apologize for the warm-up I do at the beginning. I normally sing a line from a song, and if you know the singer and what song it is, then maybe you can tell me in the comments. Okay, what's your name? It's such a simple question, and yet if we dig a little bit deeper, we'll find out that it's a little bit complicated. Well, there are many different ways a person can ask you what your name is. And so what we're going to do in this video is talk about what it all means. Now, before we really get started, I should explain a little bit more about me. I'm English. I am from England. I can also say I'm British. I often say I'm British. England is a part of Britain, along with Wales and Scotland. England, Wales and Scotland together form something called Great Britain, and over the water is Northern Ireland, and Great Britain and Northern Ireland together form the UK, or the United Kingdom. But that's probably too complicated for now, so let's keep it simple and say that I'm English. I should also explain where I live. I live in Finland, so I can really say I am English and I live in Finland. Or I can say I'm English but I live in Finland. Or I could turn it around and say I live in Finland but I'm English. So, you know a little bit about me, you know where I'm from, which is England, you know where I live now, which is Finland. But what about you? Where do you live? Somewhere on this world, I imagine. Where is it? That world? No, it's this way. Or maybe you live the other side, because this is showing mainly Europe, Africa, and the Middle East, I think. I think I can see Saudi Arabia and some other countries there. But maybe you live the other side of the world, in America, South America, North America, Central America. Or maybe you live on the other side, in China or India, Singapore, Japan, Thailand, Australia. Tell me where you're living now. And if you can, tell me where you're originally from. Are you living in the same town or the same country? It motivates me if I know where you're from. Because here I am, I'm in this box, YouTube, quite a fun box to be in. But this is me, here in my office. But where are you on the other side of this camera? I'd love to know. So let me know in the comments. I find it very motivating to know where you are from. So tell me where you're from. Okay, but let's get to the main part of the lesson, which is, what's your name? Now, I can say, what's your name? Or I can say, what is your name? And the difference is, what's is spoken, what is would be written down. What is maybe more formal, and what's your name is more friendly, more informal. Maybe a policeman would say, excuse me, sir, what is your name? But if you met someone on the street, or met someone, at a party, something more relaxed, someone would say, excuse me, what's your name? So there's two ways of writing it, or saying it, what's your name, or what is your name. And normally you would write in the more formal, what is your name? And you could even put emphasis on the is to say, what is your name? So like, sorry, you Jack or John? I don't quite know. What is your name? I've said already, but my name is Adrian. My name is Adrian. I can also say, I'm Adrian. And I've got a graphic of a robot here. What's he doing there? Well, if I say, let's go back to the previous slide. If I say I'm Adrian, that's quite normal. If I say my name is Adrian, that's also normal. But if I change I'm Adrian to I am Adrian, then I suddenly sound more like a robot. Like, I don't know, let's try and imagine here. I am not a robot. I am human. I am Adrian. Or are you a robot? That sounds a little bit more like Tarzan would speak. Me Tarzan, you Jane. I am Tarzan. I am a robot. And so it's less formal if we just say I'm Adrian. So if you insert your own name, if it's Philippe, I'm Philippe. I'm Mary. I'm Ahab. I'm Jessica. Whatever your name is, you just say I'm and then your name. But what sort of names are we talking about? Well, if we look here, Adrian is my first name. It's also called my given name. Given comes from when you are born, you get your family name automatically, and then your parents give you a new name just for you. So your given name is also called your forename as well. Forename, rather like foreground or forecourt. Forename is another way of saying first name. So first name, given name, forename. Very simple. Now, a little bit more complicated. What does Christian name mean? So Christian name, you may hear this when you're speaking to someone from a slightly older generation. And it comes from the times when most people in, say, United Kingdom or America or Canada or whatever English-speaking country we're imagining, were expected to be baptized as Christians. So 50 years ago, 60 years ago, 100 years ago, you can imagine that most people, not all people, but most people in, say, England were Christians. And so people talked about their Christian name, the name given to them at baptism. But times have changed, obviously, and we now know that people can be of any religion they want, or they can be of no religion at all. And so it's much easier and simpler if we talk about first name, given name and forename. I don't think you should be upset or take offense if someone calls you what's your Christian name if you're not a Christian. It's not meant in a really religious way. It's just a habit that people have of saying things. But first name, given name and forename are much simpler. So my first name is Adrian, my given name is Adrian, or I can say my forename is Adrian. So, what's your name? A simple question. But so far we've only dealt with half of the equation, the first name. We haven't dealt with the last name, your family name. We've only done with one part of it, and there's a little bit more to it. So, let's go on. We can have first name and then, other way around, family name. And another term for family name, let me just make it a little bit bigger here. Family name can also be called your last name or your surname. You'll hear these. Surname is very common, last name is very common, and family name is being used much more. Now, what about, let's do some questions here. What's your last name? Tell me now. I mean, I know you know I can't hear you because this is one-way YouTube, but just answer in your head, or if you're on your own, or if you're in an internet cafe or on a bus looking at your phone, you can speak it out loud. What's your last name? What's your surname? So you give me the same answer. What's your family name? Same question, just said in 3 different ways. My last name, talking about me, is Doyle. My family name is Doyle. My surname is Doyle. So we now know that I'm Adrian Doyle. So I'm Adrian. I'm Adrian Doyle. Now then, this can get confusing because sometimes when I've travelled to countries like China and I think Korea, it was the same thing, some people occasionally called me Mr. Adrian, which sounds very strange because I'm normally Mr. Doyle. And that is because in some countries, and I think even Hungary is one of these, some people, it's normal in other countries, instead of having first name, last name, or first name, family name, they have family name and then given name. They have it the other way around. But my family name is Doyle, so I become Mr. Doyle. If your family name is, let me imagine, Watson, and you are a Miss, you are Miss Watson. Or if you're married, you're Mrs. Watson. Or if you prefer not to tell people if you're married or unmarried, then you're Ms. Watson. But I'm Mr. Doyle. So, we have family name, also called surname. And just to confuse you a little bit, some people might talk about second name when they mean surname or family name. So what's your first name? What's your second name? And it can be a bit confusing. It's confusing to me anyway, because second name can have two meanings, and I'll come to that in a few minutes. Who's this guy? Let me make him really big. Okay, you can probably imagine. What has he got? He's got a dinner jacket on, a pistol, and a martini. He's dressed like a secret agent. He's supposed to be 007. Why do I have him here? Well, he's famous in the movies where he shows up and people say he goes into a hotel or something and he says, "The name's Bond, James Bond." Now, this doesn't happen in real life. If I walk into a hotel and say, "Yes, I have a reservation. The name's Doyle, Adrian Doyle," then quite frankly, I'm not cool enough to pull it off. Only James Bond is cool enough to pull off Bond, James Bond. It's not a normal way of speaking about your name. I say, "Yes, I'm Adrian Doyle. My surname's Doyle." Or, "The reservation is under Doyle. Doyle, Adrian Doyle." I perhaps could say that. But you don't go around at parties meeting people and saying, "Bond, James Bond, Doyle, Adrian Doyle." You say, "Hi, I'm Adrian Doyle." Or, "Hi, I'm Adrian," depending on how formal we want to be. But I do like a good James Bond movie, so it was worth putting him in there. So, next, what have we got now? Middle name. Well, it was so simple. We had first name and last name. And I need a third hand here. I don't really have a third hand. But, wrong hand. Let's have first name, last name, and then middle name. Get my fingers in the right way. That's too hard with fingers. But middle name. Well, what's a middle name? Well, some people, such as me, have a middle name. And lots of people don't have a middle name. And then even more people like Prince Charles, they have lots and lots and lots of middle names. They have a first name, Charles, I imagine. A surname, Windsor. And then they've got lots of middle names like Louis and George and lots of other ones. But it is fairly common that people will have one middle name. And it can be that you don't have a middle name, it doesn't matter. But talking about myself, I do have a middle name, and that middle name is Colin. And so I can say, if I'm being very, very formal, I'm Adrian Colin Doyle, where Colin is my middle name. But let's break that up. So we have got first name Adrian, second name Colin, last name Doyle. I'm Adrian Colin Doyle, like I said before. I'm Adrian Colin Doyle. I can also call that given name Adrian, middle name Colin, family name Doyle. And if I was in England, I would probably say yes, my first name is Adrian, my second name is Colin, my last name is Doyle, or my surname is Doyle. But if I was in another country where English is not the first language, let's imagine Finland, to be clearer, I might say my given name is Adrian, my middle name is Colin, my family name is Doyle. It's a little bit clearer with different cultures to use given name, middle name, family name. But it's up to you which one you use. So I've got the same thing here, really saying how you structure your name is first name, middle name, last name. If you don't have a middle name, then you can forget about that. You don't have to worry. Given name, middle name, family name. And that's why it was confusing about second name, because, oops, pressed the wrong button there. Sorry for that. Here in this example, where am I? I'm up here now. If I point the other way, my finger's not really long enough, but it says first name, second name, last name. And some people talk about second name being surname, last name, and that's why it gets confusing. So I much prefer, get my finger in the right way, middle name. So I would probably say my first name is Adrian, my middle name is Colin, my last name is Doyle. But yeah, we can choose and speak however we like. Okay, so what's this all about? Well, let's do a quick scenario where someone goes to the doctor. I'm supposed to be acting for this, but I don't think I'm really going to be able to act. But let me try. Hello, this is Adrian Doyle. I think I've got the flu. That was me acting. Okay, I'll stop acting now. Can I make an appointment to see the doctor? Yes. What surname? Doyle. Okay, and your first name, please? Adrian. Thank you. Your appointment is reserved for 10 a.m. tomorrow. So let's break that down again. Press the right buttons. So I phoned up the hospital, the doctor's department, the medical practice. And I said, hello, this is Adrian Doyle. I think I have the flu. And I asked the question, can I make an appointment to see the doctor? There should be a question mark after doctor. Let me see if I can fix that right now. There we go. Magic. And then the person on the other end of the telephone replied saying, yes, what surname? So they're asking what surname. They could have said what last name, but in this time they said what surname. And I said Doyle. And then they said, okay, your first name, please. And I said Adrian, and they probably looked it up or they wrote it in a book. And they said, thank you. And then they told me, your appointment is reserved for 10 a.m. tomorrow. Okay, simple. A real life scenario. Okay, homework. Do you like homework? Be honest. Really? Okay, I don't like homework. The concept of homework, the word homework, makes me think of, I don't know, depressed evenings after school, slaving away over written books. And I think it's a horrible phrase, homework. And so let's get rid of that straight away. Let's get rid of homework. Let's think about something else instead. Okay, this is a person playing golf, of all things. I don't know. Do you like golf? I like to watch golf on TV. I can't stand playing golf in the real world. Although I do like to play, where are we? Oh, over here. Mini golf. You ever played mini golf? Where you try and get the ball into a hole and you have to go through a gate, and it's complicated and it's fun to play with children. So I like mini golf or crazy golf. But think of a golfer, or think of any sports person, a tennis player like Roger Federer. How does that person get to be so good? They've got some natural ability, some natural interest, but then they do something else. Now, are they sitting at home doing homework? Or I don't think so. It's not called homework. It's called practice, where you practice the same shot over and over again, and after you've done that 10, 20, 50, 100 times, it becomes easier and more natural, and you don't think about it so much. And it's the same when you're learning English. You can repeat and think it and say it. And if you find it's hard to say at the beginning, then just keep trying and listening to others and thinking it, and it'll become easier and easier. And so there's a phrase, isn't there? You'll hear it often saying, practice makes perfect. Well, I don't really believe that practice makes perfect. I don't think perfect is an ideal goal. It's almost impossible. What is the perfect way to speak English? Okay, clearly, so you can be understood, but what accent do you have? There are hundreds of different English accents all around the world. But speed and confidence, I don't know, there's not such a thing as perfection, but I really believe in this second one. Where are we with this way? Second one. So I don't believe so much in practice makes perfect, but I do believe that practice makes better. And that's a big part of this Simply Better English is all about. So simplybetterenglish.com is all about making you better at English, giving you the confidence to speak better English, to understand better English, and to achieve what you want to achieve. So let's do some practice. Not called homework, it's called practice. What I want you to do is write in the comments under this video your answer to the question, what's your name? We've been talking about it for, 21 minutes and longer so far. And I want to know, what's your name? You can write it down however you like. I've talked through different ways of talking about your first name, your second name or middle name, your last name, your given name, your family name, your forename. Many different ways, but tell me, what is your name? And for bonus question, tell me where you're from. I really like to know where you're from. I find it so motivating to read where people are from and what they're up to. And what I can say about me, I will try and read your comments. I struggle, or I will not probably have enough time to answer every single comment. I'll try and answer some of them. But if you see a comment from someone else, be friendly and reply to that comment. Do you like their name? Have you ever met someone with that name before? Have you ever visited their country? So you can be friendly and encouraging other learners of English by saying what you think about their name or how they've written, and you can add to the conversation. So it's quite simple, I suppose. You have to answer the question, what's your name? Okay, a little bit more and then we're done. All I really want to say is, well, if you want to learn English, you can look at simplybetterenglish.com/learn, and you'll find some lessons that are free. And if you want to really learn English, I recommend you go that route. If you want to learn on a regular basis. Now I will be producing lessons like this on a regular basis. And I encourage you to do what this man, let me get my arrows right, my fingers right, is suggesting you do. This man, is he me? I'm not sure. But he's supposed to be telling you to subscribe in YouTube to Simply Better English. And when you do subscribe, there's a thing about notifications and a bell symbol. Ding-a-ling-a-ling, a bell symbol. And click that, and then YouTube will tell you as new videos become available. And what else can I say about these videos? Well, let me go up the way to here. They're all from me here on YouTube. And you've probably noticed I record these in one go. I start at the beginning and I record to the end. If I make a mistake, I don't stop, remove that mistake, edit it, and then continue again. I just keep going because that's real life. I do these videos as if you're out there. You're not really out there. You're in here with me in my office, or we're sitting in a cafe, or we're in a classroom, and I'm having a conversation with you, and I'm teaching you English. Now, when I'm not making YouTube videos, I'm either looking after my young children here in Finland, or I'm teaching English, business English, locally here in Finland, and that keeps me quite busy. But I want to reach more people and encourage more people to improve their English. And that's why I started this Simply Better English, which way we're going, simplybetterenglish.com, to try and encourage you all to improve your English and achieve better English. So I don't edit these videos. It's like real life. And so if I make a mistake, let me make one right now. If I click too many buttons and go this way, and I've gone the other way and the back way. If I mess up, well, it's like real life. What do? I pause. I correct myself. Maybe I say the same thing again, a little bit clearer. If I suddenly mumble and you don't understand me, then I'll try and correct that and say it again. And it's the same in real life. You meet someone, you're talking to them, you don't understand, you ask them again, excuse me, can you say that again? Or they tell you your name at the beginning, and then you're talking, excited, and then you forget their name, and you say, sorry, what's your name? Can you tell me your name again? What's your name again? Can you tell me your name? And so these videos, I don't edit them, I don't remix them, I try and play them as real as possible, just like real life. And I hope that any mistakes or difficulties are all part of the charm. That's what I wanted to say. But I do encourage you to subscribe, like this lovely character is saying, to the videos, to like them, and if you've enjoyed them, to share them with someone else you think might like the videos. One other request for you before I go, we're almost at the end. If there's something you want to learn and I can help you with, make a comment in the video and give a suggestion. If you want me to talk about idioms, I'll do that. If you want me to talk about spelling or meeting people or helpful phrases or I don't know, you tell me. Excuse me. If you tell me, I'll try and take that on board and be as helpful as I can. Right. So, I think we just about covered it. That was all about the topic of what's your name, and it's ended. So, time to end. I've been Adrian. This has been Simply Better English, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now. I'm doing the royal wave. Bye for now. Bye bye.